Thank you all for coming today, and this is our first event of, this is our big event of the year called the 5 Weekend Seminars, where we're going over the entire application process and different aspects to help everyone here who's applying either this year or next year. And so yeah, this is our first kickoff event, and thank you for showing up today.
I'm going to introduce Dr. Dave Tran. He's the vice chairman here at of the MD100 project. So just a little bit of background on him. He went to Berkeley for undergrad, UC Irvine for medical school, and now he's a real doctor working in the clinic. So without further ado, let's give him a round of applause.
My background is that I originally actually grew up near here. I grew up in County. Spent a lot of time here in Little Saigon growing up. I went to UC Berkeley for my undergraduate. I actually applied to medical school as what we would call a non-traditional student, meaning I took a little bit of time off between medical school and an undergraduate. Okay. So from that time, I did some research, I explored a few things, I traveled, and then I went to UC Irvine starting in 2010, recently graduated about a year ago. Currently I'm working as a family medicine resident, meaning I'm going to primary care. I'm over at Long Beach Memorial Medical Center. So the whole reason why I'm here actually is I'm now working as, we've kind of done some changes to our program. It's been going on for about 3 years now. And I'll be coming in as the new executive vice chair of the board, which is now kind of really briefly to go over the whole purpose why you're here. Each of you guys is here because you're interested in becoming a physician, right? And you're here because you've dreamed about becoming a doctor. There's something about you or something that someone has shared with you that made you want to go down this path. Okay? And each of you is here because you're looking for an option and a way to get there. Now, how many of you guys are in college right now? How many of you guys are science majors? Did you know only about half of the people in medical school are science majors? Do you also know that only about half of the people in a lot of medical schools are traditional applicants, meaning you go straight from one place to another? So lots and lots of people are taking time off. So what we're really taught in a lot of the pre-med organizations that you might have been in college is that it's this straight road. Vietnamese would be good at right? It isn't. But with our community, there's a couple different issues that we have to address too. How do we communicate our leadership? How do we find the opportunities and communicate our stories for why you're here? I mean, each of you guys has a story for why you wanted to come here today that made you decide, okay, I want to be a doctor. How do you turn that into an application? And more importantly, how do you become a competitive applicant? Nationally, the rate of people who get into medical school who are applying directly from undergraduate schools is roughly about 40%, which means that less than half of the people who apply to medical school will get in on the first try. From certain programs, that can go as high as 50%, certain programs as high as 90%. Okay? But our job here isn't to say that we're going to get you into medical school. At the end of the day, each of you guys is going to work hard working on the projects, the community projects you're on, sharing your stories, applying all these things to the kind of dry side of the medical school application process, right? The MCAT doesn't really speak to that as much, but it'll help you. The goal is to take all of those stories and compile them into your application, turn you into a competitive applicant, and kind of screen you and make sure you're ready. So this program is here is to, one, show you what you need to go to medical school, tell you what medical school is about. What are you really going to experience? Okay? There's a lot of people out there who say, just try, just apply. That's really not the best way to approach this because you have tens of thousands of applicants or applying to certain places. Many thousands of applicants applying all over the country, especially in California. So you have to be ready. Okay? And there's a letter that we wrote last year talking about this organization. Each of the people that are leading in this room right now, Anderson, Helen, everybody who's here right now, these people are here to help you learn and they're teaching each other how to get into medical school. Okay? Meaning they're sharing the strategies for you to how to get there. Okay? Another really big important thing that we're going to work on through the internship, through the mock interview process, is basic business etiquette and skills that you might not have learned elsewhere. Okay? Because if you grew up in Little Saigon, you might not be used to going to a big academic center where people are scientists and are very educated and have a lot of experience working in a very different environment. And we have to kind of get used to doing that and how to function in those kinds of places. Because for a lot of us, when we get there, it's very strange. Okay. But rest assured, if you really want to become a physician, you can get there. Okay. That means that you have to learn and adapt, and that you also have to apply a lot of the principles that we're going to teach you through this program. Okay. That said, I can't make any guarantees, but we've had some successes. We've had a lot of students who have gotten in, and we're very proud of that. Okay. And we're hoping that each and every one of you guys can get next week on that list.
Thank you, Dave. Let's give him a round of applause. So, as Dave alluded to, this is our third year running this program, and to date we've had 10 students who've been accepted in medical school. So that's quite an accomplishment. It is a difficult and long process. I think there's something like, I think the numbers are around 30,000, 40,000 people, correct me if I'm wrong, that applied to medical school last year, and less than 50% got in. So about 40%. So if you look at those numbers, the odds are against you, less than 50%.
As a figure for, so one thing I forgot to mention, this program is affiliated with the UC Irvine School of Medicine, as well as the UCLA School of Medicine, through the medical student organizations that are there. So that's who's informing a lot of this information that you're getting. UC Irvine had about, I think, 2,600, so 2,600 applicants for 104 seats. Okay. Roughly, I want to say about 500 interviews took place. Okay. So you have about a 1 in 5 chance of getting an interview. And even then, your chance of getting a seat, also about a little less than a third, I think, somewhere around that neighborhood. Okay. So we have to kind of keep those numbers in mind, but I don't want you guys to be discouraged by that, because it is a pretty shocking number.
Yeah, it is, and our goal is to try to help you through the process as much as we can, and to work with you individually to make sure that all your components of your application are covered. Real quickly, I'd like to introduce Dr. Han. If you'd like to say a few words and introduce your background, where you went to med school and undergrad and stuff.
Hello. I actually just moved to California to start UCLA plastic surgery. So I moved to the U.S. when I was 16 from Vietnam. Went to high school in Houston, college in Rochester, and then medical school at Georgetown. And I did my general surgery at NYU and now at UCLA. So I have to say I didn't know much of all statistics and everything. I think if I knew, I would not try, because it seems like it's impossible. But it's just if you're really passionate about it, just give it a really good shot. And I think during interview, the most important thing that would also shine is your personality. You can do volunteer at several places and whatever, but you have to feel like you actually have to have that instinct in you to be a physician, to care for the patients. And the little things that you notice when you volunteer that make up that experience, you need to share it with your interviewer. And usually that's what makes you stand out as a different candidate versus like, oh, I got 32, 34 on my MCAT for GPA. I didn't get 4.0 GPA, by the way. And I didn't get a 34 on my MCAT. But, and I actually went straight from Rochester to Georgetown. So there's, everybody has their own path, and just be as prepared as you can. And if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer.
Thank you.